From once bustling metropolises struggling to bounce back from bankruptcy, to cities being overtaken by dangerous criminal gangs, here are the 10 fastest collapsing cities in the U.S. that you should leave now. Number 10. Indianapolis, Indiana. Indianapolis, the capital and most populous city of Indiana, has a rich history that dates back to its founding in 1821 as a planned city strategically chosen for its central location within the state. Throughout the 19th and early 20th centuries, Indianapolis blossomed as a hub for commerce, industry, and transportation, characterized by the construction of railroads and the establishment of iconic events like the Indianapolis 500. However, in recent years, the city has faced significant challenges, including rising crime rates, particularly in violent offenses, which have garnered national attention and sparked debates on public safety and community intervention. In April 2024, BBC Science Focus compiled the 10 most dangerous cities in the United States, and Indianapolis came 10th on their list. They noted how Indianapolis has faced major issues with violent crimes, particularly with the increasing flow of firearms making their way into the city. Steps have been made to combat this, with the Indiana Crime Guns Task Force working hard to keep residents safe, yet crime is still high. According to Neighborhood Scout, Indianapolis has a crime index of 4 in 100, meaning it is only safer than 4% of other cities. Here, residents face a 1 in 100 chance of becoming a victim of a violent crime and a 1 in 30 chance of becoming a victim of a property crime. Additionally, many locals are concerned about the rise in homelessness, which is up 5% in 2024 compared to 2023. While not all homeless people turn to drugs, many find themselves in a negative cycle, with fentanyl driving an overdose crisis in the city. Number 9. Albuquerque, New Mexico. Albuquerque, New Mexico has increasingly found itself grappling with a number of pressing issues that have contributed to its reputation as a declining and dangerous city. While violent crimes have been decreasing slightly in recent years, property crime is going up, with Area Vibes stating it has jumped by 9.5% in 2024. Despite the decline in violence, Best Places claim that the rate is still double the national average. To that, Albuquerque landed itself at the number 9 spot on BBC Science Focus's list of the 10 most dangerous cities in the United States in 2024. They noted that the city has a violent crime rate of 1,369.14 felonies per 100,000 people. Albuquerque has also made mainstream news over the last few years due to its ongoing housing crisis. In 2022, it was reported that nearly half of Albuquerque renters were housing cost burdened, meaning that they were spending over 30% of their income on housing. In 2024, Urban ABQ stated that the city is facing a housing crisis that has made affordable housing more difficult to find, which in turn is aggravating an already tenuous homelessness crisis. According to City Desk ABQ, 2023's PIT tally of 2,394 homeless people in Albuquerque was the highest number in the last 12 years. In May 2024, city officials faced judgment when they violated a court order by discarding the personal property of thousands of homeless people. Number 8. Cleveland, Ohio. Cleveland, the second largest city in Ohio, boasts a rich industrial history. Having been established in 1796 and growing rapidly in the 19th and early 20th centuries due to its strategic location along Lake Erie and its robust manufacturing sector. Once a thriving hub for steel production and innovation, the city faced significant economic decline in the latter half of the 20th century as industries transformed, leading to job losses and population decline. This economic upheaval has been mirrored by escalating challenges, particularly concerning crime, which has plagued certain neighborhoods and contributed to a perception of insecurity. According to Property Club, Cleveland's crime rate is 5.5 times the Ohio state average and 4.3 times the national average. They also noted that in addition to being the worst city in Ohio for crime, Cleveland is also one of the most dangerous cities in the U.S. Residents of the city face a 1 in 61 chance of becoming a victim of a violent crime and a 1 in 23 chance of becoming a victim of a property crime. Cleveland is also another major U.S. city that is grappling with a drug crisis, with opioids such as heroin, prescription opioids, and fentanyl running rife. This has become such an issue that the city received a grant in March 2024 to fight the growing number of overdoses occurring. Number 7. Denver and Aurora, Colorado. Over the years, Denver, Colorado has transformed into a vibrant metropolis known for its diverse culture, outdoor recreation, and growing economy. However, in recent years, Denver has faced several challenges, with the most pressing issue being a significant surge in illegal immigration. This influx has put a strain on the city's resources, including housing, healthcare, and social services, leading to increased tensions and concerns among residents. In September 2024, the New York Post reported that disheartened Denver suburbs are looking to sue their big sanctuary city neighbor and the state government after suffering strained budgets and crime after 42,000 migrants flocked to Colorado, bringing the violent gang Tren de Aragua with them. This Venezuelan gang is believed to have made their entry into Aurora, Colorado after arriving in Denver. They have then taken over a number of rundown apartment complexes, engaging in gunfights and reportedly charging rent to tenants and using threats of violence as a way to secure payment. This has caused fear amongst residents, some of whom have been forced to leave their homes. It has also caused rifts between cities, as many have pointed the blame at Denver. The New York Post said, "Denver's decision to welcome migrants with open arms is bringing bloodshed to the suburbs next door." However, Denver refuses to take the blame. In fact, they have never actually declared themselves as a sanctuary city. When asked if Denver is a sanctuary city, Mayor Michael Hancock replied, "Denver never adopted a formal policy to be a sanctuary city. What we are is a very welcoming and inclusive city." While many Tren de Aragua members are stationed in Aurora, there is still an overwhelming presence in Denver. According to Denverite, police officials in Denver say Tren de Aragua has a small local presence. However, many believe they are downplaying the severity to avoid mass panic in the city. Outside of this issue, crime rates are actually dropping in Denver, yet it is still far from ideal. The crime rate in Denver is 74 crimes per 1,000 residents. Here, the crime index is 1 in 100, meaning Denver is only safer than 1% of other U.S. cities, and the influx of migrants sure isn't helping. Residents face a 1 in 95 chance of becoming a victim of a violent crime and a 1 in 16 chance of becoming a victim of a property crime. Denver is also known for its high cost of living and worrying poverty level. According to Rent Cafe, the cost of living in Denver is 4% higher than the state average and 10% higher than the national average. Lastly, 8.6% of residents in the Denver-Aurora Centennial area, or about 257,000 people, lived below the poverty line in 2023, up from 8.3% in 2022. If Denver can get the migrant crisis under control, the city as a whole would likely be in a much better place. Number 6. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Milwaukee, home to over 500,000 residents, is celebrated for its rich tapestry of cultures, making it one of the most ethnically diverse cities in the United States. This vibrant diversity contributes to the city's unique identity, offering a multitude of cultural experiences, festivals, and cuisines. However, the city has faced significant challenges in recent years as sustained population decline has raised concerns about its future viability. According to CBS 58, the most recent estimate found Milwaukee has lost 16,508 residents since the 2020 census, a 2.9% decline. Contributing to this trend is a troubling violent crime rate reported by BBC Science Focus, which stands at 1,597.36 incidents per 100,000 people, creating a perception of insecurity that deters potential residents and businesses. Residents of Milwaukee face a 1 in 66 chance of becoming a victim of a violent crime and a 1 in 28 chance of becoming a victim of a property crime. Milwaukee is also struggling with a drug crisis. In March 2024, Governing.com stated that Milwaukee County has one of the nation's worst overdose fatality rates for a jurisdiction of its size. The county is using money from opioid settlements to fund prevention and treatment programs across a diverse group of agencies. Milwaukee County has one of the worst rates of overdose deaths in the nation. Given that the city of Milwaukee makes up for 99.89% of the county's area, this is very much a city problem that needs addressing. Number 5. Kansas City, Missouri. Kansas City, Missouri, founded in the 1830s at the confluence of the Kansas and Missouri rivers, has a rich history as a vital trading post and a significant center for jazz and barbecue culture. Despite its vibrant heritage, the city currently faces considerable challenges, including a high crime rate that has raised concerns about public safety. Along this issue, Kansas City grapples with persistent poverty that affects many neighborhoods and contributes to economic disparities. In terms of crime, Kansas City has been garnering negative attention since 2019, according to BBC Science Focus. For this reason, they ranked the city 5th on their list of the 10 most dangerous cities in the U.S. However, they noted that to combat this issue, the Kansas City Police Department is working with other community organizations to help implement a citywide strategy to reduce crime and help people out of poverty, as well as address various mental health issues that could lead to violence. According to Data USA, 14.9% of the population in Kansas City live below the poverty line. This is exacerbated by a tight housing market. According to the Beacon News, home construction is surging in Kansas City. However, home builders say rising labor and materials costs make it hard to keep up with demand due to heightened building costs, ultimately pushing affordability out of reach for many first-time homebuyers. Number 4. Memphis, Tennessee. Memphis, Tennessee, founded in 1819, has a storied history as a cultural and economic hub, renowned for its contributions to music, particularly blues, soul, and rock and roll, and its role in the civil rights movement. However, in recent years, Memphis has struggled with significant challenges that have led to a rapid decline. According to the University of Memphis School of Social Work, Memphis was placed 5th among metropolitan cities in the United States in terms of overall poverty in 2021. The city's efforts to increase population are hampered by persistent poverty and criminality. The population of Memphis has been declining recently from 647,000 in 2010 to 621,000 in 2022, and has continued to trend lower to 613,000 in 2024. A few elements that have aided in this downturn are the high rate of crime, poverty, and underinvestment in low-income communities. In terms of the city's struggles with crime, Memphis has a reputation as one of the most violent cities in America, with nearly 400 homicides recorded in 2023. This is a rate of 63 homicides per 100,000 residents. According to Neighborhood Scout, Memphis has a crime index of 0 of 100. Here, residents face a 1 in 41 chance of becoming a victim of a violent crime and a worrying 1 in 14 chance of becoming a victim of a property crime. Crimes by juveniles are also increasing in the city, as reported by Memphis Flyer. Number 3. Detroit, Michigan. Detroit has a well-documented history of struggle, particularly following its peak as an industrial powerhouse during the mid-20th century. The city's decline was exacerbated by globalization in the automotive industry and the concurrent suburban sprawl, which led to significant population loss and economic adversity. In 2013, Detroit infamously filed for bankruptcy, marking it as the largest municipal bankruptcy in U.S. history. While recent years have seen efforts to revitalize the city, attract new businesses, and invest in urban development, concerns about crime remain a significant issue for residents. In April 2024, BBC Science Focus declared Detroit as the second most dangerous city in the United States. They noted that the city's population fell by a staggering 63% between 1950 and 2015. As a result of mass redundancies and increasing poverty, violent crime reached a shockingly high rate of 2,056.67 violent felonies per 100,000 people in 2019. As of 2024, Detroit has a crime index of 1 in 100. Residents face a 1 in 49 chance of becoming a victim of a violent crime and a 1 in 22 chance of becoming a victim of a property crime. As reported by Neighborhood Scout, Detroit has one of the highest rates of motor vehicle theft in the nation, according to FBI crime data. Detroit also struggles with high levels of poverty and unemployment. According to Poverty Solutions, Detroit has a poverty rate of roughly 30%, nearly 3 times higher than the national average, and the child poverty rate is even higher at more than 43%. In terms of unemployment, Detroit's unemployment rate is at 13.8%, which is higher than the long-term average of 13.37% and considerably higher than the nationwide rate of 4.2%. Number 2, New York City, New York. It may come as a shock to many that the bustling metropolis of New York City, often considered the epitome of urban vitality and resilience, is facing a perception of decline in the eyes of many residents and observers. Due to its sheer size, crime is undoubtedly a problem that will always be prevalent in New York City. However, violent crimes have been decreasing in recent years. According to the NYPD, in March 2023, New York City saw a 26.1% drop in shooting incidents compared to 2022, and homicides fell by 11.4%. In 2024, NYC.gov reported that citywide in March 2024 compared to March 2023, overall crime dropped 5%, a reduction of 505 incidents. Continued declines were also recorded across many bellwether crimes, including homicide, which was down 19.4%, and burglary, which was down 17.4%. However, property crimes are still worryingly high, with Neighborhood Scout reporting that residents face a 1 in 33 chance of becoming a victim. So, despite what many people may believe, crime is not the biggest concern in NYC, but there are many other factors driving the perception that the city is collapsing. Firstly, Insider Monkey stated that New York City is one of the fastest declining cities in the U.S., coming fourth on their list of 18 cities. They stated that the percentage change in population in New York City between 2020 and 2022 was negative 4.63%, and since then, New York City's population has continued to decline. Another glaring issue is the current migrant crisis in the city. According to the New York Times, by August 2024, more than 210,000 migrants had arrived in New York City since the spring of 2022. A 2-year influx, they claimed, has strained government resources and the city's openness to immigration. This migrant crisis has also intensified the city's already complex homelessness situation. In May 2024, it was reported that NYC would begin to kick migrants out from shelters. This plan required migrants without young children to vacate hotels, tent complexes, and other shelter facilities, as the influx has led to a demand for shelter that far exceeds available accommodations, and existing systems are being stretched to their limits. This shortage not only displaces migrants, but also exacerbates the plight of homeless New Yorkers, complicating efforts to provide stable housing and support services to all individuals in need. Number 1, Seattle, Washington. Seattle, Washington, known for its stunning natural beauty and vibrant tech scene, has a rich history that includes its founding in the 1850s during the gold rush and its evolution into a major port city. However, in recent years, Seattle has become the focus of significant negative press, particularly concerning its ongoing struggles with drug addiction and the rampant proliferation of fentanyl. Public spaces have increasingly been affected by visible drug use and homelessness, generating concern among residents and city officials alike. In June 2024, KIRO 7 News reported that open-air drug use is a major issue in Seattle, with residents claiming it's not Seattle anymore. The presence of fentanyl has become a huge problem across much of the United States, but it seems that Seattle is one of the worst. As a result, the city of Seattle has announced the creation of a recovery center for people who have been revived after an overdose. Seattle Mayor Bruce Harrell released the following statement: "The deadly fentanyl and synthetic opioid crisis that we are seeing on our streets and in our neighborhoods demands that we be urgent, compassionate, and innovative in how we help people suffering from addiction access life-saving treatment." As with any city, The pervasiveness of drugs strains public services and also leads to an increase in crime. This is not ideal for Seattle, considering the city is already understaffed in their police department. According to My Northwest, the Seattle Police Department lost 38 officers, including recruits, as of June 3, 2024. Conversely, they only hired or rehired 15 officers in 2024, leaving Seattle Police with its lowest staffing levels since 1958. This has sparked concerns with Seattle residents as crime has been creeping up in recent years. According to Area Vibes, the Seattle crime rates are 182.2% higher than the national average. The Seattle Times also stated that Seattle had 50% more homicides in the first half of 2024 versus the same period in 2019. Residents of Seattle face a 1 in 122 chance of becoming a victim of a violent crime and a 1 in 17 chance of becoming a victim of a property crime. What about how many illegal border crossings there have been every year for the last 20 years?